my name is Thomas, and I have a lot of free weight loss and fat burning information that I want to expose to you today that you may have never heard of before. Let me share with you a story about how I literally went from being obese for nearly 15 years of my life to immediately dropping 30 pounds of pure fat in less than 8 weeks at 38 years old, and how you too can use the exact same advice that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video so that you can burn off 10% or more of your body fat within just the next 4 to 8 weeks and continue to each and every month until you reach the perfect body shape that you've been desiring all this time. And again, no empty promises here, no hype, no gimmicks, but I'm going to tell you up front that this video that you're watching right now is only going to be available for a limited amount of time, and I'm going to have to take it down because we can only handle to help so many people out there. Now, about that story I was telling you about, well, let me just say, it's a pretty unusual story, and when you realize some of the tricks that I've used to pull it off, it may even shock you. You see, back in 2009, I was 37, and I had been approaching this whole weight loss thing in completely several different directions. I was trying low-calorie diets, Atkins, starvation diets, meal replacement diets, you name it, I've done it. But the problem was that none of them seemed to work at all. In fact, what ended up happening was I maybe end up losing, let's say, a couple of pounds here and there, but eventually, it hit this breaking point where I couldn't stand it anymore. And before I knew it, I found myself at the local McDonald's, splurging on Big Macs and cheeseburgers, finding myself weighing in even more than I did before on trying these diets. But you see, I had this friend. His name's Marvin. Now, Marvin is a personal friend of mine and a coworker, and I've known him for a couple of years now, and I've always been astonished by the fact that he's always stayed super slim, no matter what he seemed to eat. He wasn't sporting like a kangaroo pack on his stomach, if you know what I mean. He was always slim, fit, in shape, and I always simply figured out it was probably because he was blessed with the right genes or something like that, right? And then one moment I decided enough was enough. And after being embarrassed for so long, I decided to finally summon up the courage, go out on a limb, and simply just ask him something in private that really put me on the spot. I said to Marvin, "How is it that you can stay in shape and still eat junk food?" And he sort of chuckled for a moment, and he said to me, "Tom, come over to my place after work. I'll share with you something that you may have never realized before." And it was at this point when I learned Marvin's 3 golden rule principles that can literally accelerate anyone's weight loss. The unusual weight loss tips that have literally changed my life. So what are these 3 golden principles? Well, the first one is quite possibly the most shocking of all, and you may be surprised when you hear this. The first rule is sugar. See, sugar is the leading cause of weight gain, and while you may know this, you may not know exactly and truly what's going on behind the scenes when you buy groceries at your own marketplace. You see, what I'm talking about are not the obvious foods like with sugar, like cookies, cakes, and candy. I'm talking about sugar that's actually disguised in the very foods that you eat. Let me give you some examples. Orange juice, bread, pasta, it really goes on and on. And these are just some things that you may be eating on a day-to-day basis that are not allowing you to gain weight, lose weight. And you see, many of these foods that you've been eating are not designed to accelerate your weight loss progress, but there are certain foods that you can eat that will allow you to do this. And what's actually happening behind the scenes is that when you're eating these foods, they push more sugar into your bloodstream. Your blood sugar levels go up, which therefore increases insulin to be released, meaning the body now needs to store more fat basically at the end of the day. And this was a real shocker for me because little did I know that the foods that were deemed healthy really were not at all and were actually a detriment to my progress. But really, that's just the beginning because there's a lot more that's going on behind the scenes, leading us to the second most important principle in the golden rule. Fat. You see, fat, that's right. And stick with me here for a moment because just like I said, this is going to be very unusual for many to hear because fat is actually good. We've been misled by our society to think that foods that contain fats are really, really bad for you. But foods have different types of fats, and some of them are really good for the body. Some examples, as you can see on the screen here, that have good fats are avocados, nuts, whole eggs, and many, many others. And these foods contain natural fats, and natural fats are what are actually good for you and keep you healthy. But the real fats to avoid are fats such as trans fats, which are a man-made refined fat. And when I heard about this, believe me, this really shook up my perception a little bit, because many of us have been led to believe that, our own actual fat that's on our bodies, we associate that with the kind of fat that we see on a grocery store nutrition label. But it gets even crazier, because the third golden rule that really blew me out of my mind is something called high fructose corn syrup. Now, let me tell you, there are many foods and the things that we eat that contain a lot of high fructose corn syrup. It's also known in other names. If you ever look at the ingredients in the products that you buy, such as fructose, glucose, and many others. These ingredients are basically a byproduct from corn. And since it's a lot cheaper to produce in the States than sugar, the corn industry gets huge kickbacks from the government in terms of subsidies, which allows sugary foods to taste artificially sweeter than actual natural sugar. Take a look at all the popular products that you eat on a day-to-day basis, and you're going to realize that many of the foods that you eat contain this corn byproduct ingredient. And let me tell you, it's in everything from fizzy drinks to ketchup sauce to bread. And this ingredient promotes weight gain. In fact, it's been proven that those who eat foods with HFCS will actually be a lot more, without HFCS, will be a lot in much more healthy shape and actually won't gain weight in comparison to those that do. Now, of course, there's a lot more detail to these three golden rules, but these principles alone have literally changed the way that I approach my own personal weight loss. And I'm sure, as you can see, these three tips, these valuable tips, are so powerful that actually served as the catalyst to my own weight loss. And from that point on, I've made huge strides and learned many more secrets, strategies, and techniques to losing lots of more weight. But here's the thing. When it comes down to it, you need to know what foods are good and which ones are not, and have a diet plan ready for you to help you achieve the maximum weight loss needed. And what I've decided to do is I've decided to come up with a solution for this. And what I've done is I've created a program called Drop the Fat. And Drop the Fat will simply tell you and show you exactly what to do, what to eat, how to work out, how to make an ideal plan cater to your personal lifestyle so that you can achieve the maximum results with losing all the unnecessary weight that you've been wanting to lose for all this time. So here's what you can expect from Drop the Fat. You're going to get an exact, precise, step-by-step video instruction program that's literally going to show you in video all the exact routines to use that I've been using to lose the very same 30 pounds that I did in that short period of time. You're also going to get the exact same meal plans that I personally use and the nutrition guidelines. I'm going to even show you exactly what is healthy to eat and what isn't healthy to eat. I'm going to craft an exact, precise workout platform that can be catered to your own personal lifestyle and get you the results that you want, literally in just less than 20 minutes from home, and much, much more. So, I'm not going to go and try to charge a boatload of money here to share with you these these same strategies that I've been able to use to personally lose the weight, but I want to make this easy and accessible for anyone to take advantage of. And you have to realize at the same time that this is available for only a very limited amount of time. So for the time being, if you want to go ahead and you want to make a difference in your life right now and follow the exact same strategies that I personally use in my life to lose that very same 30 pounds in less than 8 weeks, and you can do the same thing for yourself, then all you need to do right now is to secure a copy of Drop the Fat today. Simply click the Add to Cart button below, and you're going to be directed to a secure payment page where you can get your hands on Drop the Fat right now for a one-time low cost of $97, so you can start changing your life today and live a healthy, active lifestyle without having any of that unnecessary fat. And if you have any other questions, the email address is right below this video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you as a new member, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the other side. Take care.